And the next question in our agenda is question number 4. Official title of the question is financial planning. This is one of more of the kind of econ type of questions, more than the finance, in my honest opinion. The reason is that finance deals more with the questions of valuation, valuing assets. And even when you study like portfolio theory and all these more advanced topics in finance, you will realize that oftentimes the core of the problem that you're looking at is how certain actions or certain decisions of managers, all the agents, translate into the changes in the valuation of a certain asset. That could be physical assets, or that could be financial assets like equities, bonds, treasuries, all these kind of securities in a way. So in this question, what we are looking at is in my opinion, a very classical question of economics, the concept of variable and fixed costs. So let's tackle that together, okay? So we have two data points that will allow us to figure out the composition of variable versus fixed costs in this total cost of preparing those meals, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the equation for the total cost twice, one for 400 meals and one for 1,000 meals. And I'm going to denote by P the per unit cost, the variable cost. So 400 units times P plus some sort of fixed cost that we will figure out later is going to be 12,000, will cost 12,000 to prepare, and 1,000 units times P plus fixed costs is going to cost 27,000 to prepare. Okay. Now we have a condition that for 1,500 guests, which is larger than 1,200 guests, we will need this fixed cost increase by a factor of 50. So fixed cost, they're not really fixed costs, they're just like chunky, incrementally increasing costs. So the fixed cost that we have here is for 400 and 1,000 meals. Both of these numbers are less than 1,200. So we're going to call them fixed cost 0, which are valid for less than 1,200, and I'm going to call fixed cost 1 those that are valid for more than 1,200. Okay, something that we will have to figure out just a bit later. Okay, so now this is a system of two linear equations with two unknowns. So the way that I'm going to solve it is I'm going to take this first equation and subtract it from the second one. Okay, so when I take 1,000 minus 400, I get 600p. Fixed costs cancel out, and on the right hand side I have $25,000. Okay, so from this I can figure out that P per unit is, oh, my bad. This calculation should have resulted in 15,000. So 27 minus 12, 15,000. Okay, so I'm going to take 15,000 from the right-hand side and divide by 600. And I'm going to arrive at a per unit cost, variable cost of $25. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do, so this was the step number 1 to figure out P. Step number 2 is going to be to figure out fixed costs. So fixed costs, let's take this first equation. It's going to be 400 times per unit price of $25 plus the fixed cost that I'm trying to find is going to be equal to 12,000. Okay, so fixed cost 0 then is 12,000 minus 400 times the $25. Okay, so then fixed cost 0 is $2,000. So the step number 3 is to figure out how that cost changes when we invite more than 1,200 guests. So I'm going to try to find fixed cost 1, so 50% more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1.5 times fixed cost 0, 50% larger. And so that's 1.5 times 2,000, which gives me 3,000 for the fixed cost. And the very last step is to plug it all into the total cost formula using the number of units as 1,500. So again, per unit price 25 times 1,500 meals plus 3,000 units. And that gives me 40.5 thousand total cost. Okay, so The answer for this question, correct answer was D. And if we check with the solutions provided, that's exactly D. And in slightly different explanation, we get the same answer.